Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. All right. In the back. Nah, come on. Let me drive. I'm gonna drive. Nah, just kidding. Got my license suspended. I know. You're supposed to stop at the stop sign. You know you're supposed... Or just ignore me.
And most of my pets, actually pretty much all my pets have been ones that I have got from organizations, rescue organizations, or the SPCA.
Like this guy.
Yeah.
He's, he was dumped in New West.
Mm-hmm.
And SPCA found him probably in a bush or something.
Yeah.
I actually found my dog through the Northwest Territories SPCA. Hi, my name is Marissa, and I am the animal care attendant here at the Maple Ridge SPCA.
My name is Diane Waters, and I work for the BC SPCA as an outreach specialist.
My name is Carolyn, and I am currently a volunteer team lead at the Maple Ridge shelter.
I told you a little bit about my little Jack Terrier, and he still seems to be full of anxiety. Do you think there's any ways I can overcome that, or do you have any suggestions? Or
I would recommend for people and their own animals is providing enrichment while you're not there. Something that the animal can use their brain on, have fun, without a person involved. So we'll use like a frozen Kong. You put some wet food and dry food, you put it in there. Block it off with their favorite type of food. We use peanut butter or Cheese Whiz, that's always a winner. Put it in the freezer. And then when you're about to leave, give it to your dog so that they can kind of play around with it and try to get the treats out of the middle. We'll do a mixture of treats and kibble so that they kind of are also getting a little bit extra of their food. Another thing is you can wrap up treats in a towel and tie it up. Then they can use their brains to try to unravel it, and that's always really fun. If you have any spare cardboard laying around, you can get a box, shove tissue paper in it, because if they accidentally consume any, it's digestible, and sprinkle some treats in the bottom of the box, and then they have to literally dig it out and go searching. So it's like a sniffing test as well. But just like things to keep them busy is what I find works really well for our anxious dogs, and it just kind of takes that little bit of, oh no, I'm going to be alone for a really long time with nothing to do, and it gives them something to do. I think that works pretty well.
We have wonderful volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers that come in and do the dog walking. Now, the dog walking is something that has to be done several times a day. And the staff members don't always have that time to do it. So our volunteers who are able to walk the dogs and they're educated to walk the dogs, and they've done the training to walk the dogs, are able to take the dogs out for their walks or play with them in the back of the shelter.
Max is crazy if he thinks I'm gonna walk in this weather.
Overall, I feel like I'm starting to slowly but surely become a dog expert, maybe even a dog whisperer, at least I hope. Doing this research and having this intrigue of getting to understand Cooper better is that I get to understand the community better as well. So, as an example, I get to connect with the neighbors here better. I get to connect with the veterinarian on a deeper level, and the different doctors and people that I see regarding Cooper. There's a really, really great community here in Vancouver, in BC, that wants the best for animals and actually takes care of animals and advocates for the healthy and a high standard and quality of animal lives.
I could just see their dedication to how they knew all of the animals, even the ducks, all had names, and how they approached taking care of, so just the care that they gave. You could see the animals were all engaged with the people. I mean, they were socialized in a really good way. Even the ones that, like some of the dogs that were having some challenges, even they had a special, place where they felt safe. And again, the volunteers had great stories to tell. And I thought at the time, what a great place for anyone who wants to be a volunteer to learn about how to take care of animals, basically, and also to understand the outer workings of how many, many different kinds of animals need shelter, they need taken care of, and they can't be just abandoned out in the forest somewhere,
Having minors and seniors volunteering with Charlie's Pet Food Bank and in the community could be really beneficial. There are some qualifications that you have to meet to be a volunteer. So anybody under the age of 16 would have to be accompanied by a guardian. If they are not willing, obviously it's a Thursday morning. If they can't come down on Thursday morning because of school, we always have the packing program, so you can come on a Wednesday and help pack up the food, or like special events where we go out into the community and need volunteers to help host those. As for seniors, we'd love to have senior citizens here to help out. It gives us a lot of purpose. We have some older volunteers here that have been here for 20 years now, and they've said that being here every Thursday has given them tons of purpose if they're not working, and being part of the community really makes them feel valuable and happy.
Yeah, so my journey was, I kind of started in wildlife rehabilitation. So I volunteered at the Wild Ark facility on Vancouver Island, which does wildlife rehabilitation. I had always grown up with animals. I always kind of leaned at least towards the wildlife at first, but after moving here to Maple Ridge, I joined this branch in this facility, and it's kind of nice because I get to feel that feeling I had when I was younger, and we'd get like a new animal that had kind of possibly poor beginnings and give them a home, and now I get to do that for other people.
When we walked into the area one of the areas where the cats were, there was a little gray kitty. Kind of poked their head around an open carrier they were sleeping in. And I don't know, that kitty looked right in my eye, like caught my eye. And I just couldn't stop thinking about that kitty.
I used to work at the Surrey facility, and we got a cat in one time who came in a cat trap, and he was fractious, and he was really mean. I really love the cranky, kind of like beat up cats. I just think they have so much personality, and you have to kind of earn the love there.
So I grew up kind of small town, and it was -40 weather, snowing terribly, and my dad was outside grilling on the barbecue for some reason. Don't know why he was, but he was, and this cat crawled up his leg, jumped like onto his shoulder, and tried to jump into the barbecue because could smell the food that was cooking. The cat had a tattoo. We traced it back to its previous owners, and he was actually abandoned after they had moved away. They left the cat behind. So this poor cat was starving, and his last resort was to jump into a burning barbecue.
The next thing I know, I'm phoning up the manager of that place, and I said about meeting this cat. Oh, they said, well, that cat's, had kind of a rough go.
Eventually, after 6 months in a shelter, he wasn't doing well, and my manager at the time was like, you're the only one who can pet him. Do you want to take him home for a bit? As soon as I took him home for fostering, it's like, I can't put him back in a cage. So I've had Doodle now for 6 years, and he is the most lovely animal. He cuddles, he purrs, he sits with me, he knows when I'm upset, he follows me around, he just wants to be a buddy, and he's just a beautiful companion.
It came here, and we've been taking care of it. And then a family adopted it, but it didn't work out, and then it came back. So it's feeling pretty skittish. And I said, well, do you mind if I come up maybe once a week and be a part of the volunteers, but I could also maybe get to know the kitty, and the kitty could get to know me? Yes. Well, you know how the story ended. Eventually, that kitty came home with me. I said to Murdy, you're coming home. You're going to come home with me. We're going to make a home. I brought the carrier, and Murdy got in the carrier, didn't say a word, said, basically, you could almost hear Murdy say, I'm ready. I'm ready for my forever home.
Okay, that's pretty cute.
By helping him, I think he knows. It sounds cheesy, but he also helps other animals now too. I don't have the capacity to take on any more animals of my own, but I can foster a lot. And so I'll take home singleton kittens that are too young to go to a home, or a puppy, and Doodle just becomes the most amazing foster cat.
That kind of showed me specifically, like, yeah, I do want to help out these animals that are otherwise abandoned, mistreated, not necessarily have the best start.
So he will show them how to be a cat. He shows dogs that, they don't need to be afraid of the vacuum. And it's really interesting to watch just the relationship between pets evolve over time, and how they become used to each other and can also help each other. So it's just really amazing to see if you help an animal, that animal can also help other animals or people as well. It's just such a mutually beneficial relationship that I think everybody should have the chance to adopt an animal and really get to know and learn to love them.
Yeah.
Oh, and this guy.
Keller. Yes, that's my little dog.
Keller.
This is Keller. Keller was very sick when he was an infant. He is like he was drunk. He would stand up and tip over and wobble. We had to syringe feed him, and he would jump up, oh, I'm great, and then fall back down. And it was this process all day long of, oh, I think he's getting better, he's great. Nope, down he goes again. And I had 3 different vets look at him, and they said, he's healthy. They drew blood, They checked him over, his heart's good, organ's good. There's nothing wrong with him. Maybe it's neurological. And we weren't looking at that time, so it was getting to be like, we gotta put him down. This isn't right, he's falling on his head, right? And one day I noticed he was more lively in the morning, and then you give him his bottle, and now he's all sickly and falling everywhere. And I was son of a gun, you are allergic to milk. And I gave him soy. And now we have a healthy young little sheep here who's been raised off of soy. And it just never crossed anybody's mind. Something that simple was so disturbing to him and affected him so much.
A lot of people think that adopting an animal means you're getting an animal that is damaged or has been previously abused. And there are cases where that happens, but we get a lot of animals that are just from like really lovely homes where maybe there's been an allergy or a new baby comes along or they have to move. We get a ton of animals that are born in shelters, so you can get animals that have never been owned before. And then there are animals that have, you know, maybe a behavior issue here or there, but those are things that we can mitigate and train people on. And so we do evaluations of all the animals before they get adopted to make sure that they're okay and that they can fit with a certain type of family, and then we'll make sure that in the application process, the fit is correct.
Can you just let us know, where are we right now?
Oh, we're in Abbotsford, BC right now, and this is the home farm for Cinemazoo.
Cinemazoo. And what is Cinemazoo? What do you guys do?
We do film and events with animals. I like to do mostly livestock, so if anybody calls for things other than livestock, then I call upon other contacts. So it's all the sheep, goats, horses, anything that you find on a farm, we got it here.
What animals get booked out the most for films? Which animals are the biggest stars here? Because I think he's the star for sure.
This one's a little star, yes, even if only in his own mind. I'd have to say the goats and the sheep, we do a lot of background. He's a little moody to men sometimes, as you see. So he's done a little bit. He's still very young, very saucy, but I'd say the sheep and the goats do the most.
We get a lot of interesting animals here. So based just on our clientele, they're out and about in the town all the time. So I've seen like pigeons in people's coats, or like a crow on somebody's shoulder, or you know, somebody had a rat with them and her name was Goldie and she's sitting on this lady's shoulder, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not a domestic rat, that is a street rat. But we also get like bearded dragons or lovebirds, and one man brought us a little spider and was looking for spider food. So, you know, we get a lot of really interesting animals.
And what animals are the most work to take care of? Have you had a busy month or a busy season leading up to now, and why has that been the case?
People are struggling to find housing that they can take their pets with them. So a lot of people will either have to move house and they can't find anything either in the area or even within their budget that will accept pets, as well as rising costs of living are just a really difficult thing for people right now. So we have a lot of people utilizing the food bank that's just behind me here because it is a hard thing.
Policies that I'd love to see change that would benefit the Lower Mainland in Vancouver, even BC wide, would be more pet-friendly housing. A lot of our clients really struggle to find safe spaces to go where pets are allowed. Yeah, there might be a policy where you can have one pet, but there's also breed-specific requirements. So there's a lot of like no bully breeds, or your dog has to be shorter than 13 inches from the shoulder. So there's a lot of, I guess, policy to kind of dictate what you're allowed and who you're allowed to have in your building, pet-wise. So having more pet-friendly housing and allowing tenants to actually have pets, I think that would be a huge benefit.
In the early 90s, I moved to Vancouver and I lived in an apartment. I couldn't have my own animal as I had animals growing up all the time. So I needed some sort of animal, something to do. So I happened to see this advertisement at the SPCA for dog walking. So I became a dog walker. I would go in there and walk the dogs that needed, and that really fulfilled my yearning to have my own dog. I did that for many years while I lived in Vancouver, and then I moved out here to Maple Ridge, and that's when I became interested in the education department. I would go to the schools with my dog and educate these youngsters, and we did that for about 15 years. I had 2 dogs that did this, and we saw over 1,500 students, and that was 25 per class at a time. I'm so grateful for the teachers to let us in. There's so many kids that have learned how to be compassionate, empathize with animals, how to take care of them, how not to be scared of them. From there, my dog got tired of going into the classrooms. He got a little older. He's 8.5 now, so he didn't really want to do that anymore, so I decided to do a new role. So I saw the role for volunteer team lead on the site. I applied, and here I am today doing this job. This job comes a lot of detail other than just working with volunteers. It comes with a lot of emails to them and facilitating their role with the staff and showing them all the opportunities we have to do in here. And it's just not cuddling when they come in here. There's a lot of stuff to be done. They can do housekeeping, they can walk the dogs, they can see the small animals. We have a food bank. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of opportunities for these volunteers. So it's my job to show all these new volunteers what is available to them and help them through it and keep them on board.